Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome to Daily's 2A News. Here we are in the middle of a global pandemic. Everybody's locked down, the economy's taking a dump, and what do you think the Democrats are up to? Yep, they're still trying to take away your Second Amendment rights. This time with a Senate bill that will just blow your mind. It's pretty much just as bad as the House bill, which is 5717. So today we're going to be talking about the Senate bill, which is 3254. Now, if you guys haven't heard of the House Bill 5717, you got to scroll down my videos and watch the video on that one, because it is honestly the worst gun control bill that I have ever seen. It is all-encompassing. It would essentially ban semi-automatics, magazines, universal registration, background checks, waiting periods, age restrictions. I mean, you name it, it would be in that bill. So that bill is pretty much the worst bill that I've ever seen. And this is essentially the mirrored image of that. This is the Senate bill version of that House bill. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and read the titles from each one of the sections, and that will give you a basic understanding of what that section is going to be about. So we'll start off with section 101, which is a license to own firearms and ammunition. So they want the government to start issuing licenses for people to purchase firearms and ammunition. Now, the basic way that I understand a right is that it's a right, and if you add a licensing system to it, it's no longer a right, it's a privilege that's issued by the government. So essentially this would, I mean, that's a non-starter right there. This would take away your Second Amendment right and turn it into a license. So you'd have to get a license issued by the government before you bought firearms and ammunition. Then you have section 201, so there's 201, 202, 203, and you have universal background checks. Let's see, completion of background checks, 7-day waiting period. So universal background checks, 7-day waiting period, and then reporting of background check denials. So background check denials, if you went and for some reason you were denied, maybe you didn't even know why you were denied, that's actually going to be reported to Congress for some reason. I don't understand why they would need to know that. But again, it's universal background check, 7-day waiting period, and they're going to report you to Congress. That's all in the section 200 section. Moving on to the 300 section, you have 301, protecting victims of domestic violence, fugitives from justice, minimum age for purchasing firearms and ammunition. So they want, again, a national age restriction that would put it to 21 years old. So you'd have to be 21 to purchase not only a firearm, but also to purchase ammunition. And then you have secure gun storage by owners. They want to put their own secure gun storage rules in place so that when you're home, you can't just, have something up on the wall or in the garage up on a wall. It would have to be locked away securely in whatever storage device that they deem, necessary. And then you have a secure gun storage or safety device for all firearms. This is what they want to do. They want to put together a list of all of the government-approved locks and devices that you could use. Anything that wouldn't be on that government-approved list to lock your firearm, you would still be considered having a firearm that's accessible or whatever, however they want to put it. So you have to use their certified locking devices in order to have something actually properly locked up. And then they want consumer product safety standards for the gun safes and stuff like that. They also want to expand on gun-free school zones. So not just the free school, the gun-free schools, but they want to increase that to a zone, so an area around the school. I'm not sure what would happen if your house just happened to be next door to a school. There's a lot of people out there that live right across the street from schools. I'm not sure what would happen to them. You have Extreme Risk Protection Order Grant Program. So basically the government wants your tax money to then divvy out your tax money to pay for red flag laws to have your Constitution stepped on and basically eliminate you of due process. Federal Extreme Risk Protection Orders, so they want it to be a federal thing instead of just a state thing. Federal Firearms Prohibitions, identification records, all sorts of stuff like that, full faith and credit. Okay, so it's just absolute, just like 5717, this thing's terrible. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. And like I was saying, this is almost a mirror of 5717. This one was just submitted in the Senate instead of the House. So now you have the 500 sections, which has definitions. Restrictions on assault weapons, large capacity ammunition feeding devices. So this is where they want to ban semi-automatics. They want to ban magazines that are capable of holding more than 10 rounds. This is where all of the banning is going to take place. In that same section, they want grants for buyback programs. Now, we all know that buyback is an absolutely ridiculous term because you can't buy something back that you never owned, and you can't say that, okay, we're just going to go ahead and ban something that's protected under the Second Amendment, but we're going to give you your money back that you've already given us for other things. We're going to give you your money back and call it a buyback. It's just not how it works, but they want grants that I would presume they would give to different states and different, anti-Second Amendment groups in order to conduct those buyback programs. Let's see, a ban on untraceable and undetectable firearms. So they basically want to do away with home-built firearms, anything that's like from an 80% lower or something like that. Prohibition on possession of certain firearms accessories, just like 5717 again. Subtitle B, firearms silencers and mufflers banned. So an outright ban on all silencers. Now, here's the thing. That's simply just a hearing protection aid, and I think a lot of us know that. Simply quieting something down doesn't make it any more dangerous than if it was louder. It just makes it safer for the person that's behind it and next to it. Anybody that's around you that's got to hear that really loud concussion. I mean, I've had ear pro on before, and somebody comes by with a heavier caliber, and it has made my ears ring to the point where I got to double up on my hearing. If they were allowed to have some type of suppressive device on the end of that muzzle, then maybe it would tamp it down to where I wouldn't have tinnitus now. So that's something to consider. They basically want to ban anything that would be just too quiet for them. So again, we're into definitions, restrictions on firearm silencers, mufflers, penalties. It goes into all that different type of stuff too. And then you have Title 5, Section 6, 600. So prohibition against multiple firearm sales or purchases. This is, again, where they're going into the firearms rationing. So they want you to be able to buy one firearm every 30 days. So it's not one handgun and one rifle and one shotgun. So you couldn't go in and buy each. You'd buy one firearm for that 30-day period, and then you'd have to wait 30 days again before you went and bought a shotgun. So let's say you wanted to go hunting, right? You wanted something to carry on your side, and you also wanted a shotgun. Well, you'd have to wait essentially 60 days or whatever it was in order to get both of them. So again, retaining of records, revision of definitions, and what's firearm trafficking and so forth. Gun shop security measures, they want to be able to get into those FFLs and regulate them even more. Probably regulate them out of business is what they're trying to do. Inspections, employee background checks. I mean, it's literally identical to 5717. Civil enforcement, all sorts of stuff. Lost and stolen reporting requirements, report on implementation, enhanced record keeping. So instead of the 4473 just being kept by the dealer, not being reported or something like that, they want those records like your 4473 to actually be reported so that they could be trackable, traceable. So they want to be able to go in and be able to search 4473s a lot easier and have those things accessible to them. So we all knew that, background checks are bad, and we all know that registration leads to confiscation. Well, that's essentially what this is. They want to know who's buying it, where they bought it, who they are, all that information which is on the 4473, and then they want to take that information so they can apply all these unconstitutional rules. And so it goes on from there to some miscellaneous stuff where they're going to be talking about things like things that might be affected by it and so forth, so registration and so forth. Anyway, it's a mess. It's just a total mess. So instead of having one bill, which is just going through the House, we have two bills. This bill was submitted on February 5th of 2020. So for all those people, out there, I've seen it in comments before where they say, oh, well, this whole thing, they put this through before the whole pandemic started. No, this was put through in February. In February, we were in the middle of it. We were in the hot seat. We knew it was coming down the pipeline. Everybody was, being careful at that point and washing their hands more than they used to. And so we knew what was going on in the middle of February or the beginning of February. And while this was happening, here these guys are drafting legislation and bills that would essentially strip us of our Second Amendment rights. So again, while we're all trying to work to get the economy back up and running, we're all trying to work to just, maintain a little bit of sanity and dignity while we're all stuck at home. This is what they're doing. And this is what they're getting paid to do. So while you guys might have lost your jobs, you're on unemployment, you're waiting for a stimulus check, or you're sitting there and you're losing your rent money and having a hard time feeding your kids and everything else, these people, which are still getting paid, are just working to take your rights away. That's what they're after. So it shows you right there what the Democrats really want, and it's not what's best for the country, it's what's best for them. So anyway, that's 3254. I hope it scares you, because it should, just like 5717. They should both scare you, because these types of measures should never even be introduced. So make sure you join those groups that protect our Second Amendment rights, like the Firearms Policy Coalition. I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. Have a great day.